Morning, guys. How's it going? All right. It is a beautiful Saturday morning. A little gray, but that's okay. We kind of like it when it's a little bit gray. This morning, I want to get started off with something kind of simple, kind of fun. I want to have some fun with you guys. Instead of, here, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull in a sphere. Instead of going through and working on an existing project, I want to try playing a game with you guys where every 30 minutes or so, and yeah, I've written kind of the idea down in the description in case you come in late or you miss exactly what it is that I said. Every 30 minutes or so, I want to check in with you guys. We're going to vote on what we're going to do to change or what we're going to add to the design. So at the end of an hour and a half or 2 hours, we're going to be able to have something to kind of look at and say, hey, we did that. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got a sphere. I'd like to open it up to you guys. I'm trying to go through and get started on an idea here. What do you guys think would be a fun theme of something to start off with? We can start off with like a general theme. It could be something like um, it can be something like pirate. It can be something like bandit. It can be something like um, it can be something like ancient. It can be, trying to think of like a different theme. I kind of like the idea of bandit. So, if and I'll start kind of like blocking something in, but as you guys go through and you think, I'd like to kind of hear some of your thoughts, some of the things that you feel like might be interesting. Let's go ahead and turn on Sentry and we will get going on this bad boy. Okay, I'm just gonna turn on some. Let's get rid of that. Not dynamic, sorry, Dynamesh. And then we'll go ahead and get started. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, cool. Alright, I'm going to start with Bandit. So, unless somebody's opposed and has an idea, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and start with Bandit. You think you have a caterpillar? Yeah, I do have a caterpillar. Since when do I have a beard? Oh, you're watching from Texas this morning? That's kind of fun. How you doing, sis? You over visiting mom and dad? Bandit. So Bandit, let me see. I'm gonna think maybe he's a little bit thinner, more rat-like. So let's kind of get some shapes started in here. Definitely want to kind of tweak and play with the shape of the back of the head here. So I want to see about coming in here. Let's recommit Dynamesh so we get a nice thin. Nice, not thin. Remeshed surface there. Okay, so I want to think. If I'm thinking Bandit, I'm trying to go through and think about like um, how is this going to affect his face? What's his backstory? And I'm thinking thin because like maybe he's a little bit malnourished. Um, he doesn't have means to be able to take care of himself. So maybe it's too much of a jawline. Let me see. Let's just kind of like weaken it. We'll see about keeping. Let's make this a little bit more squared off, but he feels too athletic. So let me see. Let's do this instead. Let's kind of come up. We'll really. I want to. I don't know. Maybe we will just give a pointy chin. Let's do it. Pointy chin it is. Sis, did you go to Texas by yourself, or did you go with the kids? Let's see, let's kind of dig in here for some eye sockets. And let me see. Oh yeah, for the beard, I started growing it out because I've never grown it out, and so I don't know what it looks like, and so I wanted to know, and just decided to stop shaving one day. I think it's kind of interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of having facial hair, but I like how it looks. Kind of fun. I like that. I like how it elongates my face a little bit. I don't know. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Grow it out better than Ben. Already done. Ben's is hard because he's blonde. Poor kid. Okay, I want to kind of push a cartoony factor. So we're gonna kind of push this down a little bit. He's younger than me. He deserves it. Let's go through and kind of. You know what? Let's do it like this. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of block that in. Sorry, I got something crumbly like right at my elbow. Give myself a nice block in for the area of the face there so I don't ruin that. And then for this, I want to kind of just like take that and just move it in. There we go. That's looking kind of cool. It's a little bit too soft still. I'm just trying to go through and kind of clean up this little surface in here. Join the beard dark side. How you doing, Scott? Okay, I got something kind of going like that. I'm gonna try to play with this cheek ridge here. I still think that maybe it feels a little bit too feels a little bit too healthy. So I'm gonna see about trying to make it feel a little bit less. And maybe a lot of it just comes in. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, just trying to have fun this morning and trying to do something a little bit different. Um, in about 20 minutes, we'll kind of check in with you guys and see what you guys think, and then I kind of like it better like this. Let me see. Let's add in a nose and see kind of what it is that we do with that. So let's say, let's grab, oh, no way. It's not even, I don't even have my IMM primitives brush loaded in. Because like I'd gone through and I had replaced the standard IMM primitives brush. I don't particularly care for the ones here. Um, Hold on, give me a second. I gotta find my mute. All right. Yeah, he does have a bit of owlish features, but I'd rather him look like the owl's lunch. So you know, he's very much at the beginning of that process and making that look right. So yeah, in order to make sure that this brush is the one that I want it to be, I'm going to come over and we're going to get, let's get into ZBrush here. I've got my library, got my must-haves, um, brushes, SMA, and then I've got things in here that I either made. Let's go ahead and copy that. We'll come over into Maxon ZBrush 2024, ZData, brush presets, paste it in there, replace the file and destination. Okay, so now when we come over in here, you see like it's still there, right? Still there. But if we come over here, we go, come here, we'll say reset all brushes. That'll go back and relook at that folder, and now it's good to go. So here's what we're going to do. See, now I've got my IMM brush there, and it actually works. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. Let's turn on AccuCurve on this move brush. Still making him look more owl-like. Which I don't know. Maybe that's the way we lean on this. Maybe that's Let's add in some eyes. I'm going to say append sphere. I'm just going to rotate this forward. Hey, thank you. Yeah, so let's see about getting this. Maybe let's keep the owl-like. Come here, you. There we go. Oh, in which case, maybe we make it so that it's not a guy bandit. Maybe it's a girl bandit. Maybe it's like maybe she's a saloon girl bandit sort of look. I don't know. Maybe she's got like, you know, like a feather boa and things like that. If that is the case, then I think that we definitely need to make a couple of feature tweaks. But I think it's kind of an interesting idea for sure. I actually kind of like having that pulled out, but we'll see. I'm actually going to distort the eye a little bit here. Gonna try to bring this down, and I don't know, I may or may not even keep the topology on the eye, since this is something that's going to be so distorted. It may not be a good idea to keep it super. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to just distort it so that I get the shape I want. I don't want to tweak around and kind of make it so that I've got like this perfect round eyeball. all I'm going to do is just let me see. Just kind of smooth that out. Maybe smooth this area out a little bit. Okay, let's come over here. Let's mirror and weld so we've got the eye in there. Oh no! It's going over the halfway point over there. I'm going to say Control Shift D and then just mirror that over. Then we'll go up and we'll just merge them down. So that way they're the same. Okay, so that's kind of a fun eye shape and size right now. Definitely very owl-like. I kind of want her to be, you know, if she is going to be, I don't know, like the way that she is in my head. Let's change it. Let's change it. Let's make this so that instead of being super thin, you know, especially going through and trying to think about like owls. Owls are a little bit rounder most of the time. And so I think that it could be cool to go ahead and, you know, just give her some rounder features. Maybe we try to keep this little chin down here. I think that that's kind of a fun little feature. So we'll see kind of what we do with that. I might have to block it in more, like give it like an extra little shape in there to actually retain that shape a little bit better. But that might help to reinforce the idea of a beak, right? Okay, so that's kind of cool so far. I do want to go ahead and make like an eyelid for this. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say Control Shift D. Let's grab the knife curve so that way we can control it a little bit more better. Do something like that. Oh, I didn't even do it to both sides. That's okay. We can go ahead and we can just flip it and then we can mirror and weld. Say deformation and we'll say inflate. Now I think right now the shape is a little bit lame. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and let's play with placement of these corners a little bit. I want to make sure that I'm getting something of a peak in here. Oh shoot. Mirror geometry, mirror and weld, turn on symmetry. So I'm trying to go through and work out how that eye could look. I need to add in some piece of geometry How often am I streaming lately? I've started back. I started back a couple weeks ago, and I'm starting to do it like every other week. I don't want to get burned out. I've been I've been doing a lot lately. Um, cool. This is starting to go somewhere though. But yeah, so that's been kind of the idea. Okay, so this is going to need to have higher resolution in order to kind of keep up with what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and let's try 256. Just double it and kind of see where we're at. Oh, I didn't wanna merge those pieces together. Let's turn on groups and then we'll go ahead and commit that. That's better. Oh, so much better. Alright. I'm just trying to go through and ease out some of these transitions, trying to get some better surfaces, things like that. Now for this nose, go ahead and start kind of designing this nose a little bit. I know that I want to keep kind of this planar nature here. I think that that'll look really cool. We might go ahead and kind of play around with it some so that it, you know, has a little bit more interest to it or whatnot. We'll see. We'll see kind of how this ends up. I do want to get, let's see, let's get something like that going on. There we go. That's looking kind of alright. Let's see if we can. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Cool. Kids have been wondering where you've been, and I like hopping on when I can. Thanks, sis. Yeah. Cool. Alright, so this is starting to work. I do kind of want to adjust some of these shapes and how they flow together over here though. Let's see, do something kind of like that. Let's see, I kind of want to design like this. I mean, this is like supposed to be super cartoony anyway, so I'm not trying to be too realistic with it in any way, but there are certain elements that I feel like are useful to have. Oh, you know what? Let's see. Let's instead of going through and making my nostrils with Damien Standard, let's just kind of mask this stuff out. back, you curve. Okay, so I got this sort of thing going on. I do want to, let's do something like this. I'm still kind of keeping with the beak, but this will give us a little bit of a shape break here. I don't like that. That's a little bit too much. Let's try using pinch. That looks better. Well, I don't know. We'll get to playing around with it a little bit more later. Let's see. Let's add in something over here so that this is a little bit nicer. Let's this might get a little bit messed up when we turn on Dynamesh. Nope. Awesome. I'll take it. Let's go to 256 though, just so that we're kind of keeping our meshes a little bit more consistent in resolution. But then two, and I think the big one is making sure that it is. You know what? Let me see. I want to make sure that I'm just having enough to be able to make the shapes that I want to make. Okay, so we got that. But I want it to be, I don't want it to be like one solid thickness. I'm going to go through here, kind of cut back a little bit here, and cut back a little bit here on the other end. Cool, let's invert that. And let's inflate it a little bit. Okay, cool, standard. Yep, let's go ahead and get this. Yeah, it didn't work as well as I thought it was going to, or hoped it was going to. It's not intended to be like an eyelash or anything like that. It's just intended to be like a wrinkle more than anything in the. Yeah, let's do this. Hey Julius, how you doing? We'll go ahead and we'll do it this way so that we have, so we can test it. Which I kind of like. I kind of like it. I'll call it okay. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say, let's grab this. We'll control click and click it down. Now for this, I want to go ahead and, oh, let's flip it around. Let's turn off symmetry. Let's go ahead and flip it around. That got creepy. Here's what we're going to do. Turn the symmetry back on. And we're going to kind of rotate that a little bit. We're going to rotate this forward a little bit. And then let's do some heavy lifting moving over here. Okay. Get that wrapped around nicely. Now I want to try to be very aware of kind of how much of this is shown, like how wide it gets at certain points. That's kind of cool. Let's kind of pull this out a little bit, pull this out. Make it so that it feels like it's extra baggy on the outside. I'm trying to decide how much I like that. I think what I'm going to do, this line right here gets to be a little bit too much, but I like having it toward the center, so I'm going to have it kind of fade out. Have it be even more subtle. Just kind of play with that some. This shape in here, the cheek, I'm going to play with that too. Let's see, let's play with this. So let me see. It is, we have now been at this for a half hour. We need to start adding more elements to be able to make this character work right. What do you guys feel like would be the next thing to add? So um, we're thinking like old western, um, like maybe she's a retired saloon girl or something like that. Very retired, um, and yeah, we could add ears. Um, let's see, what's an element though that we could add other than face sort of stuff? What is something that you guys feel like we could go ahead and oops, let's do something kind of like this. It doesn't want to let me bend this. Alt. It doesn't want to let me use the alt. Huh. That is really weird. Why? Hmm. That's really odd. In fact, I think one of the things that I want to do is I want just to kind of get a little bit more of the face in here. You know, that's kind of. I do think that she'd be really funny to have her as like a little bit of a more portly kind of woman. Um, I'm thinking like crimson lips, kind of pursed, thin, but like puffy little bulbs for where the actual lips are. Let's go ahead and give this a little bit more resolution so that we can have a smoother block in piece. I need to start adding in her smile too. But yeah, I'm thinking about style of hat or um, or like an earring, or you know, different things like that. Like, what are some things that you guys feel like would look good on her? I feel like I definitely want her to have at least one like fancy earring. I think that'd be kind of funny. Oh, here, the other thing I need to do is grab the ear, kind of pull this back, give kind of like a little bit of a backing to the ear here. Do something kind of like that. Make sure they're a different color from the rest of the poly groups there, so that that way I don't have to worry about them merging together. Noise. It looks so funny when it's just the eyes. It's like a funny looking bean. Okay, so now I got some pieces in there. Okay, for the ear, let's go ahead and I'm going to do like a quick treatment to get this so that this works nicely. Let's see, let's do something kind of like something like that, something like that. In fact, let's have this kind of come down a little bit further. Let's kind of have that cut in a little bit. We'll have this cut up a little bit. Maybe we'll have this be a little bit offset. So we've got like a straight and then a curve. Oh, come here, you. Let me see. Let's make sure all of that's unmasked, and then we can invert this. You can kind of just pull this in a little bit. And we can pull it in more in areas where it needs it. So like right over in here could be good. Get that to be nice and deep. Get that to be kind of deep up top. Sorry, give me a second. All right. Obviously, we got to go through over in here and got to grab this guy right here and just got to kind of pull it back and in and adjust to where the ears are at now. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'd like to do, you know what? Let's keep this here for now. I do want to make sure that let me see. Okay, just kind of pull this in more like that, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll take this and this, just kind of mask that out and kind of push that in a little bit further. So this way we're left with something that's a little bit more ear-like-ish. And we got some sculpting to do, but you know that'll be a little bit more fun, I think. Go ahead and kind of push things in, push things along. And that'll give us a good base for believable ears. Purely because I'm kind of interested now. kind of sculpt out this little bit here. There we go. Something like that. Feels a little bit cooler already. I'm going to come over here. Let's kind of add a little bit of like a body change to the earlobe. I think that could be kind of fun. Here I'm going to use the pinch brush, and let's just kind of like pinch this valley a little bit. Should be fun. Should be fun. Alright. Oh shoot, I hate when I do that. Let me see, let's grab this. Boom. And let's grab AccuCurve. I'm trying to look at like different ways that I can push the silhouette of this ear. So that it feels a little bit more let's make it so there are fewer indents there. Like I know I went through and just made that shape specifically so that I didn't have very simple sort of shape there. I don't know. Maybe it's just a matter, like we talked about, maybe adding in like some zany earrings or something. I don't know. We'll have to see kind of what it is we do with it. This needs to kind of come over more, maybe instead of coming out so much. Maybe we just have it come out this way more. Technically, ears work a little bit differently than I have them, so I'm not entirely sure like how I want this to work. Maybe having it be a little bit more naturalistic can help. But since she is so cartoony, I do definitely want to try to maintain the very stylized sort of nature of her, right? So it's gonna grab this and kind of push that back in there. All right. Let me see. So let me see. Let's see about putting some sort of kind of block in these creases for the like smile. She's gonna have kind of like a crooked, wicked smile. Like I don't know. I'm trying to see kind of what it is that we do with that. Let me see. And it's funny is that right now I've got the eyes pointing in a certain direction. I feel like it's not really like she feels too friendly, mostly because of how the brow ridge is kind of raised here in the center. I want this to maybe come at you. I want this to maybe feel a little bit more. There we go, something kind of like this. There we go. That's got like an interesting kind of wrap to it. Okay, okay, okay. Let's take that. We're gonna run with it. We're gonna run with it. All right. Let me see. I'm just trying to work and make sure that I keep certain surfaces a little bit more uniform. Thanks, Amir. Yeah, definitely a lot of work going in needs to go into that lower phase, but we'll get there, right? Right? Maybe sometime. She definitely doesn't look like she was ever a salon girl. She was like too unwanted. Okay, so one of the things I want to do is I want to add kind of like, I don't know, like some upper lip, lower lip geometry. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and say I'm in primitives. Let's grab our polysphere because that's our favorite. We're gonna pull this up and in. I'm gonna say Control D twice just to make sure that I've got a little bit more geometry. Doesn't have to be a ton, but it needs to be. Alright. Then I think with this, what I want to do is I want to have like, I mean, she's turning more into like a witch rather than a bandit, and I don't know, that could be a really cool twist. Just kind of lean into it. That's one of the tricky things about going into something without a plan. I really like how it's going though. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we just like lean into it? I don't know. I really like that. I think that's super funny. Let's make sure that lower lip is its own polygroup. You're just gonna try to like give that set of lips a little bit more space. And then I'm gonna grab clay buildup and let's just kind of sculpt some stuff in here. Yeah, kind of similar, like old Looney Tunes sort of vibes going on. Definitely very evil. Like those shapes are very. That's a theme right there. Yeah, I kind of want to go through and change this now, so that this is a little bit more. Let's turn off vacuum curve. So that this is getting to be more thin as we get toward the corner of the eye. I think that might help to make that shape a little bit more appealing. Just kind of smooth that down so that it's got a little nicer silhouette. That is so funny though. That is so funny. Okay, so resolution wise, let's go ahead and kind of get this stuff smoothed a little bit. That's so funny. Okay, now let's let's kind of play with this chin a little bit. I think I want to actually, like I was talking earlier, I want to make it kind of a little bit more. Oh man, it does kind of have penguin sort of vibes. I like that, and he's kind of like gangster bandit, so they're related, right? Oh, and I haven't really ever done fan art. Like fan art's not really my realm of living, so it's like, hmm, will I retopo? I don't know that I'll retopo this one. I think I'm gonna start kind of doing more just like just creative exercises, because I haven't really been doing creative exercises, and so it's been a little bit of um, a point for me. I'm trying to get back into. Okay, I may keep the chin a little bit more round. Um, but we'll have to kind of see how we feel about it. That shape isn't working, like ball is not working. But doesn't mean that it can't work. Let's see, let's kind of make it so that it feels a little bit more intentional as a chin. It certainly feels a little bit cooler. Okay, so this is fun so far. All right, so we got these. I want to kind of define these lips a little bit better. They're kind of not defined. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do something a little bit like that. And then the lower lip, let me see, I guess something similar. Let's kind of like bring this back a little bit. I'll make it so that it has a little bit more lower lip shape down here. If because like for instance, if this is Oswald, if we are going full on penguin here, he's gonna need a monocle. Ooh, okay, so we're gonna need to add in a monocle. I do kind of want to have. Yeah, I do. I want to do it. Let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna add in a couple things here. Let's add in little eyepiece. Oh. Okay, make this nice and, oh, let's turn on our local symmetry so that we can actually manipulate this in a pleasant way. I want to keep these so that they are not traditional round eyes. Okay, I'm gonna say let's split unmasked. Rename this pupils, eyes. Oh. turn on dynamic smooth so that way it's very easy to tell like what's going on with those eyes. Oh, it's looking so like crazy. It's looking so cool. All right, that's starting to come on. Cool. Okay, so gotta block in some other elements here in order for this to start feeling right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say Control Shift D. I gotta save this thing too. Let's hit Save As. Because, you know, in true fashion, I have not saved anything. New folder. I'm gonna put this as Penguin because I feel like now it's like that's the only place my mind has been able to go. Penguin 01, just so that way we have it. Turn off that first one. We have the face. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right, let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I don't cough in your ear. I'm trying to get over like this cough that I've had for the last week, and it's driving me nuts. Okay, this line is kind of messed up. We do need to add a top hat. Hey Daniel, how you doing, dude? So we have. Oh, you thought of the neck was a beard? Yeah, kind of. It kind of looks kind of funny, huh? Yeah, I got to work on that so that it feels a little bit better incorporated. Um, yeah, so this started out as being an exercise in doing um, yeah, I decided to do a bandit, and it was going along one direction, and then it started looking very owl-like instead of feeling rat-like I wanted, and so decided to make it kind of like a salon girl bandit kind of character, which I thought kind of lent itself nicely. It felt kind of fun. But then I kept going, and my sister told me that it looked like it was giving off some Danny DeVito penguin vibes, and I was like, okay, we're gonna lean into this like super hard now. And so now I'm just going through and doing like some penguin fan art. So that's where we're at right now. Kind of funny. Um, but I'm super enjoying it. I'm gonna go through. Let's add in. Let's build a top hat real quick, just as something as like a stand-in for a moment. Let's see. Let's make a folder. Let's say face, so that way we can have all that kind of together. Let's say a pen. Let's get a cylinder in here. Now I don't particularly care for this cylinder, but it'll work. It'll work enough for right now. Thanks, dude. Now let me see. Who is your favorite version of the penguin? Yeah, we've got like lots of different versions of the penguin. I think it's kind of a fun. You know what? Maybe instead of like pulling that in, maybe it's just a matter of kind of pulling that out. Thank you, Amir. Danny DeVito is super awesome. Definitely, definitely, definitely one of the best out there. Did you ever watch did you ever watch Gotham? Felt like that Oswald was kind of fun. Certainly different, but still kind of fun. I also like the Colin, what's his name? It's not Colin Firth. It's no, I think Colin might be his last name. I can't remember. I can't remember. Um, yeah, Sweet Tooth is actually one that I did on the stream. So if you'd like to see the creation process, that should be available. Available. Yeah, the Riddler was kind of funny too. Yeah, the thing I liked um, about Penguin in that Gothic, in that version of the Batman, I thought that he did a really good job at not really being somebody that you would feel threatened by, but still, causing trouble. I thought that was kind of cool. Go through, keep polygroups. Let's give it a little something there. Let me see. Yeah, let's turn on. Something like this for now. And this is just like a block-in sort of idea, just trying to figure something out. Maybe offset my symmetry a little bit so that it's not so same. Let me see, let's do this. I want to get different polygroups on here. So let's say auto groups. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit smaller. Okay. I'm gonna come over here. Let's get this, because I don't like the shapes that I'm getting in here. I do want it to be a little bit nicer. So let's go ahead and say, not display properties, deformation. We'll say polish by groups. That's nicer. Okay. So far not too bad. So far not too bad. Okay, let's fix our friend's neck here. Give him a little bit more breadth here in the back. Not in front of the ears though. Let me see. I kind of do like. Okay, so there are a couple of things that I like ideas from other penguins that I enjoy. I feel like the one from Gotham is super cool, but he's kind of an anomaly because because he's super skinny. You know what? I might go ahead and reposition that ear. So let's just kind of get that neck to feel substantial. I do want him to feel kind of puffy round. I do like that about the Danny DeVito penguin. I think that works nicely. Lends itself nicely to the to the villain that you can underestimate. It's like, oh, he's in bad shape, so no worries, guys, no worries. Do something kind of like that. And then I think that I kind of want to go ahead and get a collar kind of blocked in, like the collar and lapel. I don't know that I want to go ahead and do like a super full treatment of this guy. I do want to get like some form of like hair on there. Again, I really like Danny DeVito's penguin, but I don't want it to be quite as long and blah, you know, because they really did him nasty on that one. All right, so let me see. Let's get the topology brush. And let's turn on lazy mouse. I don't know that I like it up that high. Okay, do something kind of like that. We'll bring this back the other direction. So we got that going on, which is good. We got that, we got that. I'm just going to kind of add general big broad squares for now. Then that can be kind of a good, I want to make it kind of a poppy collar, you know, make it kind of fun. We'll make a lapel for him too here in a minute, but we got to see kind of what we do with the rest of this first. Let's go ahead, let's commit this. Okay, let's say subtool, split unmasked. Okay, let's close this. This does not need to have any kind of Dynamesh on it now, so let's go ahead down to this. Oh, good, it's already got Dynamesh turned off. Let's say display, we'll say double just so we can see both sides. Deformation, let's say inflate. And I also want to say, let's go to geometry, we'll go ahead and say dynamic, we'll turn off smooth, but we'll turn on thickness. And let's put the offset in the full forward direction, just to be able to kind of block things in. Colin Farrell. That's who I was trying to think of. His penguin was kind of similar to Danny DeVito's, except a lot taller. But similar sort of a gross factor, right? It's kind of crazy. All right. Hello, how's it going? All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna mask that out. Let's go ahead and kind of just pull this up a little bit so that it creates a little bit more of that that wrap around him that I want to create. And I think technically I think the penguin design was done by either like Javier Burgos or um, someone else maybe, but my buddy, um, one of my buddies went through and did a sculpt. But who was it that did that? I can't remember who did the sculpt, but it was a really cool um, design of the penguin. Okay, so we got this going on, and that's looking kind of cool. I'm trying to decide. Yeah, I do. I want to make kind of like a little. Oh, that's supposed to be. That's supposed to be welded in the middle. Here, let's turn off symmetry. I'm gonna pull this off to the side. Mirror and weld. I want to say, let's go to crease. We'll say uncrease all, and then we'll say crease PG, just to be able to crease that outside edge a little bit. I want to have, good grief, I want to have a little corner here that I go in and let's just kind of take this, we'll kind of, oops, weld that, pull this down. Let me see. Trying to decide if I want to do a bow tie or not. I think I do. By the way, if I were doing this for production, it's probably not the way that I would model this collar. But it's useful for me for right now. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, let me see about getting a little bit more resolution to things here. I'm gonna have to tidy up a little bit, but that's okay. Oh, I kind of like the offset shape here a little bit. Like that's kind of interesting. I don't want it going down. Let's actually take it up instead of down. Yeah, I think that feels a little bit cooler. really kind of like how the collar's kind of coming up in front of his face a little bit. I think that's kind of funny. Just trying to make sure that everything else lines up in a way that feels good to me. That feels nicer. That's really funny. This is gonna be a good one, guys. This is gonna be good. All right, let me see. I want to add a lapel. Just trying to offset that shape just a smidge, you know? Oops. Polish my groups a little bit there. Sweet. I don't like, so as you can see, like there's like this very immediate change of like dark to light right here. I don't like how it's like it's a little bit too, it's a little bit too immediate of a change right there. So I don't know, at some point here I'm going to say geometry, let's say crease PG, but we're going to change our levels down, we're going to change our levels up, so that way we get a good crease in there without having to break bank, as it were. Cool. Anyway, we'll keep it like that for now. All right. Let's see. Just for the sake of blocking it in. Okay, so there are definitely a few elements that I still want to add in. One being a bow tie, another being a monocle, and then the other being a, what's it called, lapel, like a coat lapel, coat collar. I want to kind of bring this down, try to make it so that it feels a little bit more soft body, you know, like fabric. Okay, cool. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead. Let's add in a monocle so that we can, and I'll probably make it just a monocle frame for now, just because I feel like that would be, let's say, append cylinder 3D. Go ahead and do something kind of like that. Oh, there's so many different edges in here. Let's go ahead and get rid of like all of them.
All right. Okay, so we got rid of that on both sides. I'll just say delete hidden. And then for this little guy here, let's go ahead and say geometry. We'll turn on dynamic. We'll turn off smooth, but we'll turn up the thickness. So that way we just have yeah, something kind of standing in. Oh, that's going to get way too thick then. 0.01, something like that. That looks pretty good. Now, the way that a monocle works is that like you hold it with your with your eye bag, like so like the muscle in your cheek and your eyebrow, and it's kind of like pinches like right in there. I'm going to have to make the expression asymmetrical in order to make that work. But this will be plenty all right enough for now. And then even, you know, technically it could be just fine, period, but yeah, so we got a little monocle on him for now. In fact, I like that shape. I like the scale. I like everything about it. I'm just going to go ahead and hit apply. I don't need to have the dynamics on anymore. I can do something like that, and I can just kind of add my smooth in if I wanted to. Also, something that I could do, which I feel quite inclined to do. Let's come in here. Let's say turn on dynamic. We'll say crease, and then we'll say crease PG. This way I get like a little bit of an edge on the inside, but everything else is nice and smooth. It's kind of fun. Adds a little extra touch to it. Okay. With the hat, we could also do something similar where we go ahead and we grab something like that. I'm going to say extrude polygroup. I'm going to start bringing it out. I'm going to hold control so that it's its own thing. Oh, not, let's say polygroup island instead of polygroup all. So there we go. Now he's got a little ribbon going around his thing. I'm going to want to add in like a little flower or something over here, just so that he feels a little bit more fancy. I gotta hit save. I gotta get into a better habit of hitting save every once in a while, you know. All right, cool. So this is where we're at. Let's take extrude. Oh, delete lower. I just want to make sure that I have enough shirt. So that I don't have to worry about it being too short, and especially showing through here where I don't know if I'll have the lapel cover his whole front like that. So just, you know, trying to make sure that it's helpful in doing what I need. Let's say uncrease all. Cool. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I guess technically that is kind of the way that I want it. So let's go ahead and keep that. I'll do this, and then I'll say crease PG, just so that I can keep track of where my shapes are. Should be fine. Put that to 2. Let's put our dynamics up. Let's add in like a 1 or 2. No, I don't like that. Let's not do that. Anyway, we'll keep the creasing on there though. So the thing it was doing, you could see, like, if I go ahead and add it up again, you know, we got like it's starting to lose and get weird pinching and everything, and I'd forgotten that it does that temporarily, just temporarily. Anyway, so here is, in fact, let's go ahead and let's add in. Let's go say Control W, and then we'll say Control Shift S. Oops. Control W. Control Shift A, so we can bring that back. Make sure those are different polygroups. And then I'm just gonna say, let's crease this too. Let's say crease PG. Just so that way it helps to uphold the rest of the shape, like the rest of the hat, you know? Cool. All right, let's make a bow tie. I think I might take it really easy on making the bow tie. Yeah, we'll make it easy. We'll make it easy. Let's say, let's grab this. Let's say IMM. We'll grab this polysphere. Kind of flatten that a little bit. We'll say accept, and then we'll kind of do some stuff here to it, as one does. Gonna move it forward some. Gonna pull that up. All right. So now what I want to do, I'm going to turn off symmetry. Actually, let's go ahead and we'll say split unmasked points. Just make sure that that's still in symmetry, because that's still useful to me. This one, I can go over, I can drag that over, and I'm just going to start making this. Yep, wait. Okay, let's say taper. Grab that and kind of make sure that I'm getting the fall off shape that I want. Something kind of like that looks cool. Say accept. We'll kind of flatten it a little bit this way. And I kind of want to make it bigger, you know. Just make it nice. Okay, so we got this sort of thing going on here. Oh, we don't need the thickness on the on here. Let's go ahead and let's say dynamic. We'll turn on our smoothness, we'll turn off our thickness. Grab this, we'll say deformation, we'll say inflate, so that way that little bit goes inside the, in fact, maybe we don't do inflate. We can just go ahead and we can just grab that and just shrink it in kind of like that. Okay, so that's off to a start. Hi, Joao, how you doing? You know what? Let me see. Let me see. I'm going to go through, let's do this. I'm going to get rid of these, not get rid of, but I'm going to hide these. Control W. In fact, I guess technically we could just get rid of that. If I did though, let's get rid of this loop and this loop. Say delete hidden. We'll turn on our dynamic smooth. For now though, let's turn this off. We'll turn our thickness back up. Okay, just kind of pull this in. Pull this over like that. Something to kind of get this shape to feel a little bit more interesting. Big old bow tie. I'm trying to decide if I like it or not. What do you guys think? Let's go ahead and kind of pull this off to the side. And then I want to take let's kind of inset polygroup island. Oh, I want it to be standard. I'm just going to go ahead and say delete a single poly so we can get rid of these and just keep it so that it's nice and simple. But the whole intent of doing that is just so that I have like this nice crease that I can kind of build into the model itself. Let's get this over here a little bit further. Let's get this over here a little bit further. Not too shabby. All right, let me see. I'm going to go ahead and say, let's go ahead and smooth it. Now, oh, you know what? I should do that before I go through and smooth it. I'm going to say, let's delete these. I'm going to say insert single edge loop here. Let's delete that, delete that. And we'll just kind of go ahead and bridge these across so that way we have a cleaner shape when we when we smooth it out. You see that? So I've got this edge, this edge loop going around the outside, and that helps to keep the shape a little bit more, I'll say, healthy, instead of pinching in a weird way. Dang, now that I'm doing Penguin, I'm gonna have to do like a Mr. Freeze. I'm going to have to do a Joker. I'm gonna have to do a Scarecrow. We're gonna have to get into this. This can't stand on its own. Mr. Copperpot. Oh, I gotta do Grundy too. I'll have to do the heroes too, but it could be fun to go ahead and do. Okay, so there's the thickness, which is great. I don't necessarily need the thickness though. Let's actually go ahead and put this at 2. We'll put the thickness at 0 for now. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay. Okay, just add in another layer of resolution like we were doing before we had gone through and added in the little extra bit in there, the extra loop going around the top and the bottom. Hey Rodolfo, how you doing? Yeah, just trying to have some fun with it, right? Just kind of get that to exaggerate some. I'm going to say maybe instead of going ahead and delete lower, gotta bring that over here. Kind of bring these pieces over and we'll start working them in so that they work, right? It's good to see you, dude. How are things? I mean, if you're around long enough to say. Let's kind of pop that into place more or less. ZBrush live on the second monitor, working on some personal projects. Right on. I used to do that way more than I do now. It's like kind of wild. In fact, I used to like Shane. Shane is one of my favorite streamers to watch. I would have his stream on my one monitor while I was at work. And that was fun. There you go. I'm kind of liking the fullness of that shape a little bit better. Yeah, he's pretty fun. He's pretty fun. He does some cool stuff. But I like one of the things that I really like about Shane is that he's able to go through and get something done in his stream time. It's not very easy to do. kind of like that shape. Does feel a little bit too symmetrical though, so it's like I'm trying to figure out how I can break that symmetry, make it so that it's a little bit less. There we go. That's kind of cool. Make it so that's a little bit less same on the top and bottom. Imagine a full environment in 2 hours. A full environment in 2 hours. Ooh, no, I'd rather not imagine that. Not for me, no siree. I mean, I've had to do things like that in the past, but that's a lot. Yeah, let's go through and kind of warp this into place. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that bit going on there. So let's see. Let's do something kind of like that. That feels cool. That feels cool. Okay. That feels cool. I'm liking that. People just keep asking for it. It's so much. Yeah, I got to every once in a while I'll have people ask for like environment stuff. It is a penguin. Yeah, every once in a while I'll get people asking for environment type stuff, and I'm just like, not anymore. Let me go ahead and give this a good smoothing now. Oh, but you know what? I've got 2 of these. There we go. Delete hidden. This little guy here, though, he needs to be a little bit more controlled. Because like these sides are getting a little bit too whatchamadiggits. I'm gonna say crease. Wait, I just said crease PG, right? I must have said crease something else. Crease UN on my. Okay, so that's probably what I hit then. Let's go ahead and take that kind of down and in. Let's take this up and in, just to be able to get a little bit nicer of a connection in there. I'm gonna grab this and actually let's see if we can get a little bit nicer of a connection in here. Yeah, just all about connection, right? Just connection. Rodolfo, what is it that you do typically? Is it you do environments, right? Professionally? I mean, if you want to branch out, I mean, I think that ZBrush Live is like the most flexible way to be able to branch out, do something different that interests you, and then also kind of build a portfolio at the same time. Oh, you're working with Maxon now. Okay. Huh. I don't know that I knew that. How long you been doing stuff with Maxon then? There we go. It feels much more bow tie like, as it were. I'm hoping my kids enjoy this one because this is a fun one. And if not, I'm sure my nephews will enjoy it. It's like my kids aren't super into superheroes. I started watching we watched Captain America, my daughter and I. My son wasn't really into it, which is, fine, but kind of surprised me at the same time. It's kind of an interesting thing. I don't like that pinch in the bottom there. That feels a little bit nicer. Just kind of smoothing it out so that it feels a little bit less odd. Like, the idea is for it to feel like the fabric is kind of just like pinching down into that central area. What am I making? Let's see if you can guess. Thanks, Rodolfo. Yeah, just kind of having fun on a Saturday morning, making my own Saturday morning cartoons. I'm going to have to go ahead and let me see. It's 10 o'clock now. I've been going for about 2 hours. What I'm going to want to do, let's add in the lapel. Let's add in, let me see, let's give this its thick, like actually commit the thickness here. Let's say apply, let's turn on. It did, it welded together. Dang it. I think it welded together here, and that's the issue. Shoot. Yeah, you see it's like welded together right there. That's okay. Here's what we can do. I am going to say, I got a little trick here. Just kind of use this. And then I'm going to say Control W just to make sure everything is one polygroup. Let's grab that. Make sure we got 2 polygroups. And let's say geometry modified topology will unweld groups border. So now I can go ahead and I can split these apart and weld them back together. Okay, let's go through and we'll just make sure we have creases on these borders here. Turn our thickness back on. It looks like it's not connecting, so that's great. That's exactly what I want. Let's just go ahead and take a second to kind of push for a little bit of asymmetry, mostly for safety and precautionary purposes. I want to make sure that I am not at too much of a risk of redeveloping an undesired weld. Okay. Let's give it a little bit of asymmetry, right? You know, make it something kind of fun. This can kind of come out a little bit more, maybe. Just to kind of push that that vibe a little bit, right? So let's go over here. Let's say dynamic. We'll say apply. Okay, we'll turn on dynamic again. We'll turn on our smooth. We'll turn off our thickness. You can see now we're starting to get much more interesting sort of look. I do need to make sure that corner stays nice and sharp though, so let's come over and crease it. Not move, Z modeler. Say crease that edge. Crease that edge. That looks much nicer. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, he's a class act, that Mr. Cobblepot. You see, something's creating kind of a weird. Oh, it's the. I see. I see. I'll leave it. I think that's kind of. It should be fine. Just gonna pull that out a little bit. Pull this out a little bit. Pull that over, pull this out, pull this out, pull this out, pull it out. I might make a button at some point just to kind of cover that point up. Make it feel connected, you know? But we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so we got that going on. With the rest of this neck right here, I don't need the rest of it, so let's go ahead. I'm going to say knife curve, because it's a knife curve we got right there. We'll just cut that off. Okay, so that way it's got just down to the collar. Now we just go ahead and we add a lapel, a little bit of garnish, and we can paint him up and call him pretty dandy. I might add a chain to his monocle. We'll have to see. Oh, and some hair. He needs a little bit of hair. Otherwise, he's just like not quite right. So let's do this. We got. Make sure that that's all one poly group there, so in case I go through and Dynamesh again, I don't have to worry about losing out on anything. Okay, so we got that going on. That's looking cool. We got that going on. That's pretty cool. All right. So yeah, I'm trying to go through and do like a mental checklist. Cool. Okay, let's add in a lapel now. Here, let's go ahead. I'm going to let's prop him up over here so that way he's just kind of always looking in on us. And then we can just kind of keep looking. Keep working, keep chugging away. I'm debating whether or not I want to go through and start adding in color right now. I'll wait. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to Control-Shift-D. Let's grab a couple of these things. Let's get rid of this this bit of the collar here. Say delete hidden. You know what? I think I want to get rid of that too. Let's say delete hidden. Instead of smooth, let's go ahead and give it some thickness. I am going to want to add like the band from the bow tie at some point. For now, here, let's do this. I'm going to say modify topology. I'm going to say mirror and weld. Oh, look, turn off local symmetry, mirror and weld. It's still boogered up. That's better. I'm just going to kind of widen that out so that it fits our character a little bit more nicely. And then what I want to do is we're going to start really twisting and pushing on some of these things here. I'm not entirely sure why I'm not getting symmetry out of this. Huh. Okay, I am now, but for some reason the tool isn't giving me symmetry. That's okay. Whatever. Okay. It's like you can see, like right now, this piece is definitely not symmetrical. I mean, granted, I just kind of pulled it out of symmetry, but that's fine. Mirror and weld. Okay, so now it's symmetrical. It should be just fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that, delete hidden. Go ahead and say bridge. Mirror and weld, so that way we've got that all together. And then we're going to say let's slide edge loop partial. Man, it does not want to behave today. That is so bizarre. All right. Good enough. All right, so let's say, yeah, I don't really need that yet. Let's go over here. Let's grab, because I do want to make sure that I'm getting the right shape to this before I start adding in resolution. Let's go ahead and manipulate this so we're getting the right shape. I'm going to have to add a little bit of resolution, but in controlled ways to make the lapel the exact shape that I want. Let me see, I kind of want to make this center loop kind of yeah, less voluminous, right? I want it to feel a little bit more like a lapel, a little bit stiffer, a little, you know, something. I'll go ahead and I'll add a loop at the top so that I can kind of pull that inside edge down. Okay, so we can do something like this. Go ahead and pull this in, we'll pull this in. Invert that so that we can get the collar to kind of pop a little bit more. All right. Okay, so that's coming along. Look at that. That's coming along. That's the look of a man who knows what he wants. Cimmerian King? Dude! Haven't seen you for a while. Of course, that's mostly my fault, not yours. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll say it's your fault. How can I fix arm topology after rotation? I probably won't dig into arm topology right now. As you can see, my character has no arms. But a lot of what you want to try to do is just kind of work it little by little. I don't know if you're talking about like you twist your arm and then all the topologies kind of like creased weird and you're getting like shearing in your edges and things like that. If that's the case, then it is going to take a little bit of I would start with smoothing, you know, to try to get that area to be a little bit more workable, and then just re-sculpting to get that area to feel proper again. I think that one of the biggest challenges with keeping topology clean when you're posing is getting it to be right, you know, to just not be too what's the word, not too exaggerate, exaggerate, I don't think that's quite what I'm looking for, to not be too distorted when you're manipulating things and trying to pose things. But yeah, a lot of it's just a matter of going through and playing and making sure that you get your shapes in there the way you need, and then not being afraid to go ahead and just, you know, smooth things out. Smooth things out and resculpt. Which, funny enough, is the name of my new book. No, I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be something? This has to be one of the wildest looking characters I think that I've ever sculpted. Super fun. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's make this a lapel that feels worthy of the penguin. I want the lapel break to happen up here. So let's go ahead and delete this. I'm gonna say collapse poly loop. And granted, you could go in very easily and have this be a whole lot more fancy than what I'm doing here, but you know what? I think I want the lapel break to be actually a little bit higher. Let's do it. Let's do it up here instead. Delete, collapse, and then we can just go in. We can say not inset, insert. Bring that in. Alt click there to be able to make that so that it is a little bit less. Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. So this is just a matter of making the shape, making it look right. But as you can see, I've made the shape. Cool. Cool. Okay, so we got a lapel. I do need to do a couple things. I think I might add like a... maybe we need to add this, like pull this up a little bit higher. I'm trying to remember. Did the penguin have like a cigar or anything like that? I mean, I don't know that I want to go through and wilder than the candy dragon I made. That was pretty wild. I'll take it back. That was probably the most wild. But this is still pretty stinking wild. I mean, like, look at how pushed everything is. Like, that's crazy. This is crazy. I think he had a cigar in the more adult versions. A long, oh, like a Cruella de Vil sort of, like cigarette with cigarette holder, right? Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. We'll leave it. We'll leave it like without the fumodities. You see, I like the shape that this is making here, where it's like boom, boom, but I kind of want to refine this a little bit so that it's a little bit. There we go. I like that better. I like it better with the nose coming out down a little lower. I think that looks cooler. Let's see. Okay, let's start adding in some color. I think that he's looking a little drab, and drab is not a bad thing for a character like this, but you know, getting some color in there, not too bad of a deal. I'm going to kind of fly by the seat of my pants and kind of not necessarily like take a guess at what's good, but I do want to kind of make something up here. MRGB color fill object. For this, yeah, let's go color fill object. But then I'm going to come down here. Let's get to, I have a painterly brush here. And let's add in here. We gotta come into here, and we gotta say color down to something like 0.05. And I want this to have much more of like a purple sort of tone to it. Do something like that for now. Let's come over here. Let's grab this eyeball, and we'll make it a little bit lighter, a little bit more yellow. MRGB, color, fill object. For the eye itself, let's do something. Let's do something kind of like a putrid green. I don't know, something kind of like that could be cool. Even if it's just for now, right? Let me see, let's come down here, let's say C, let's get a little bit more kind of grunge going into like the center of his face. It should hopefully help to add a little bit more warmth. We'll have to add in a lot more something to this so that it feels a little bit more alive, but you know, just add something for the time being. Let's add like something a little bit more here. Let's get some more add in something kind of like this. That's like super red. Let me see, let's go ahead and mask that out. Let's kind of invert this, and then I'll hit Control H. It's definitely like too saturated, maybe a little bit too red. So I'm just gonna kind of desaturate it. Something like that could be kind of interesting for now. Oh, that's so creepy. Okay. It definitely feels too odd. Let me see. Kind of eat back at it a little bit. Sometimes it's just a matter of like adding in strange colors and then eating back at it. We'll kind of see where it goes eventually. Thanks, Mitografia. I'm having fun with it. This is a fun, it's kind of a fun project to to kind of play with. It evolved very very organically. Like it was supposed to be some sort of bandit, and then it eventually took on a very different sort of look. Okay, now I feel like we usually see Penguin in like black or like dark purple. I kind of want to honor that for now. let's say color fill object, but then with the band, I want to make sure maybe I have that's kind of cool. I mean, it makes him look super ancient, so I might need to like add some more color to his face or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see kind of what we do with that. Let me see. Oh, and then his piece right here. Let's go ahead and say color fill object just to give it something. I do need him to have some sort of hair before I call this done, because like this is a lot of fun, but I think he's definitely missing that hair, and I think that adding that element will make him feel certainly much more finished. I'm going to go ahead and extend the end of this bit down. So I'm just going to like add an edge loop. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead, let's mask out a good part of this. Is that going to be enough? Yeah, that'll be enough. And let's kind of take this down. See, I just went ahead and kind of extended that out, and that's just fine. It works nicely. Let's go ahead and kind of insert a couple of loops down here to kind of hold that shape. The Dark Knight. I guess who I'm sculpting right there. Yeah, I know about the monocle. I absolutely know about the monocle. It's just blocked in for right now. I've literally only been working on it for a couple hours. I just haven't gotten into putting in the asymmetry in the face yet. So, yeah, I get it. I get it. Good catch, though. Good job paying attention to it. But yes, I totally understand how monocles work. Yep. Not my first rodeo. Alright, something like that for now. I do want to kind of add like a little bit of extension to the jacket just to cover up that that bit of the shirt. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave this kind of more or less where it was. Yeah, I don't want to color the shirt a different color purely to kind of make up for that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I used to stream here like a lot. I used to stream here like every week. But I took a decent break so that we could you know, prep to move and all sorts of other things like that. And so it was kind of a, you know, we got to that stage where we finished moving, and I was like, you know what, time to start streaming again. So yeah, here we are. It's kind of fun. So yeah, not your fault necessarily that I've been that I've been absent. But I'm, yeah, glad that you're here, that you're enjoying it and having fun. I really enjoy kind of coming on and just having a good time. Are you familiar with with Trends? Oh, the Turkish guy from the Olympics. You are talking about the sharpshooter, right? I don't even know what that event was called. But yes, I know who you're talking about. It's hard to not know. Yeah, that's pretty wild. And poor guy was like so unique. Everybody is like, I want to do something like that too, and so everybody's trying to like imitate him. Like all the other Olympians that were trying to do like little sharpshooter poses, you know, when when they finished a good run at their event. I don't know, just kind of a funny thing. Yeah, no, I mean I like how he is. I'm not gonna go through and add more roundness to it, because one of the things that I want to kind of maintain is the bird-like look, and I kind of like the sharp, devious sort of looks that he's got going on in here. I do think there are some things that can be reworked. Like I think I can probably like give a little bit more of that. I think that kind of works pretty all right. But you know, it's all work in progress. It's all about kind of going back and forth and not being too proud to go back and rework things as needed. I need to add in some sort of hair, and I don't know if I want to like sculpt something super defined or not. Let me see. Let's start. Here, let's save that. Let's see about trying to get, well, let's get the monocle incorporated. Let me see, let's go ahead and kind of pull this back and in a little bit. Turn off symmetry, and let's get this in here. Just kind of want to adjust the one side for the eye to be able to get that to feel like that's working right. Okay, so we got something like that going on. And then we can take this bit. Why is the intensity so low on my move brush? Like, I didn't, at least not on purpose. Put that around. And try to adjust his expression a little bit so that it feels a little bit less symmetrical. My goodness, my goodness. Let's see. Something like that. Yeah, definitely trying to keep some of those shapes. You know, shape-oriented design has always been kind of my favorite. Hold on, I've got a cough. All right. In theory, I should be able to go ahead and like hit my button here on my mic, and it doesn't seem to want to work lately, and that kind of drives me nuts. It's like, ugh. All right. Cool, so now that we've got that, at least, we can go ahead, we can add in, I'm gonna add in like a little bulb. Go ahead and plop that on there. And I'm not gonna go through and like design anything super crazy with it. But here, let's go through and make sure it's all the same for now. I might make it like a silver or something like that at some point, but we'll see. We'll see. And I'm not going to worry about like making a crazy chain that attaches to somewhere that we can understand, but I might go ahead and make a chain. Too small. That might work. I might make it a little bit bigger. There we go. I think that's much nicer. Oh, I didn't want to commit it yet. Orale. Okay, that'll be good. Let's commit that. And then we'll just go ahead and we'll rotate it into place. You know what? I'm going to keep it a little disconnected from the ball, just as a stylistic choice. And then I'll decide later or not if I actually really like it. I don't really like it. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll add in a ring to get this to feel a little bit more connected. Shrink that bad boy down. Get this to be connected in the great circle of life. Okay, I'm actually going to bring this over so that's connected to that. And then we're gonna remove the chain over here in a second as well. But what I want to do for this is I want to kind of deflate it a little bit. Let's go deformation, we'll say inflate in the negative direction. I think that should be good. I just wanted to be able to add something so that it felt like it was, you know, connected. Let's go ahead, we'll get rid of that link. We'll get rid of this link. Say delete hidden. Then we'll grab the chain, we'll pull it up. And we'll just kind of place this so that it feels like it makes sense. Oh, here, let's go ahead and let's make sure that this is, I like that color. So let's say color, fill object, because that's kind of cool, like the two different colors there. I think that works pretty nicely. You see. Dad worked at Lego in the 2000s. That's pretty cool. Responsible for the Batman series. It's kind of funny. Just little connections. Little connections. Okay, so now I have two ideas for hairstyle. I do want to go ahead and in fact, let's go ahead and play with this a little bit. But one of the things that I feel like it could be fun to play around with, just a little bit darker to that skin. I think that's kind of cool. I think technically he's supposed to be like Polish or Italian or something. I can't remember for sure. So I mean, it might be worth taking the skin even a little bit darker than that. Oh, and he needs eyebrows. I'll worry about eyebrows at some point. Okay, anyway, so the thing that I'm trying to go through and sort in my head is what I was thinking about 20 seconds ago, before I got distracted by things. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and bring this over so that way we have the latest and greatest on the screen. Let me see. Hairstyle. That's what I was thinking of. I wanted to go through and think about whether I wanted the like something that's pretty like slicked back, which I think could look really cool. Or if I want to do something more Danny DeVito style, where it's just like long and gross. Let's start working on something here. Let's start working on something. Let's go ahead and turn on symmetry. Ooh, that got creepy. Let me see. You're gonna go ahead and start with something like this. Yeah, I think that's kind of my thinking as well. Getting like a major receding hairline sort of vibe going on, you know? Go ahead and kind of like get rid of that a little bit there. So here's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do kind of a shorter hairstyle and not Danny DeVito style, but it's still like gonna be like long enough, maybe like shoulder length, kind of Loki-ish, but not quite that long. So let's do this. Let's come up here, subtool. I don't need this to be quite that long. Extract. Let's get that. We'll say perfect. Let's say accept. Okay, I don't really mind that it's balding there in the middle because that's underneath the hat, so I'm not super worried about it. What I do want to worry about, let's grab this and start to just move it around. Okay, and then for this stuff back here, let's grab snake hook and we'll just kind of start pulling on this some. Let's go ahead and give it some flourish here. Oh, that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be cool. Okay. It definitely does give it some sort of like psycho type vibe. Alright. And it's got some interesting shapes there already, so we can just go ahead and start playing with that, which is nice. Let's see, where are we at with this? We've got that going on. It doesn't look too bad. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's go over here to geometry. I'm going to say, let's commit that to one polygroup. Let's get rid of all the creasing. And then Dynamesh it. Yeah, let's just start immediately up in the 256, and we'll probably get higher as we go along, but it's a good place to start, I think, for this particular hair. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Alright, let's kind of eat away at this a little bit. Maybe I'll just go ahead and shape it. Just kind of place it in there a little bit. Turn on back face masking. Some interesting things happening so far. Let's see. I'm going to turn off symmetry and start working on getting this hair here in the middle kind of worked out. Where's that spiral brush? There we go. Let's get this to be other way. I just kind of want to give this a little bit of asymmetry, a little bit of a swirl, a little bit of body. I want it to feel believable. I want it to feel flowy and cool and interesting. See. My main job as a character supervisor is art direction. So I do a lot of drawovers, a lot of paintovers. I'll do some like remodeling to be able to fix things, make sure that things are designed, fitting the design nicely. So that everything's ready to go into the game. It's a really, really fun job, and I super, super love it. So yeah, I'm part of an entire team that goes through. Yeah, I don't want it to be Danny DeVito. I want it to be my own thing. But thanks for the suggestion. But yeah, so yeah, I'm part of a team of supervisors where we go through and we make sure that things are done and look right, so they fit the Overwatch style. And and that they work for in-game. So there's a lot of modeling. There's a lot of painting and sculpting and things like that just kind of whatever's involved in creating the character itself. It's like we do that, plus we just make sure that we get good feedback to the artist working on the skin, and it's a crazy job. There's a lot of work involved in it, and the people working on the skins are all over the world, so it's like so yeah, it's kind of crazy. We got people in the Netherlands. We've got sorry, not the Netherlands. In the Ukraine, we've got people over in Germany. We've got people in Korea. Just kind of all over the place. It's really fun. It's a really great team. Cool. Okay, I do feel like he's missing eyebrows. I need to put in the eyebrows. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to like, let's just use the curve tube. I'm gonna go in here to the modifiers, if I can find it. Modifiers, change that brush modifier to 8. Kind of add something like that in. So between Dynamesh and subdivisions, they're both great for sculpting, but both are going to give you different results. Right now, I'm using pretty much exclusively Dynamesh, except for things like the top hat. And you can see the difference in. Here, let me go ahead and kind of grab this and turn off some colors here. Let's make sure that's committed. And you can kind of see like the difference of how clean. Well, I mean, granted, I'm not super messy as a sculptor. Things are pretty clean, but I mean, you can see how things are not like super clean through here. It does get a little bit messy because of the resolution. Whereas the hat's done with subdivisions, and so it's extremely clean, and it's got very tight shapes, and everything's very neat and orderly. So I mean, you can see like very clean and clear distinctions, and it's fun. It's fun. So it's really kind of just a matter of what it is you need to do with it. It's not so much a big deal. It's not so much about like which is better. It's just about what you need it for. So like I would definitely take something like this is much more for design, and so Dynamesh is great for that because I don't have to worry so much about the technical side of it yet. If I wanted to make this ready for animation, I would definitely have to go through and do topology, and then I would go ahead and, hey Ashley, yeah, I'm alive. Thank you. Yeah, he's been a fun one to kind of put together. Well, yeah. So yeah, it's all about kind of what it is you need it for. Not so much about what it is, not so much about the sculpting aspect of it, but what you're intended to use it for. So yeah, topology is great, and I actually most often like to work with clean topology because it's so much easier to control. In fact, Ashley, who just popped into the chat, she can attest to that. She, because we used to stream together, and so it was just kind of a funny thing. You know, the comments I would get from her, from Pablo, or from Anna, and you know, just like the, like, you know, oh, being precious to your topology, and it's like, well, I mean, you'll thank me later. It's fun, but you know, that comes a lot from my production background, right? I mean, currently I work in games, but I've also got a heavy background in animation and being able to work clean is extremely helpful. Right now I'm just kind of working in a more design sort of way, so it's not really a huge deal whether it's super clean or not. But I'm still trying to make something look good, you know? Trying to decide. Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta be precious to your topology in production, right? I mean, it's gotta look good. It's gotta work. It's gotta do all sorts of things. It's gotta give you control. It's gotta give you all sorts of things. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh, that's interesting too. Okay. MRGB color fill object. Color fill object. Okay, there we go. In fact, I'm going to go through and kind of give this a little bit darker color in the hair just to see. Let's hide the mask rather than. Here we go. I kind of like that a little bit better. I kind of want him to feel more youthful. I feel like he feels too old, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of play with these eyes. Of course, there might be just an opportunity. Did you draw some? So I do a lot of like concepting and thanks, Ash. I do a lot of sketching and a lot of drawing to be able to get this so that it feels. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I actually kind of like that. I feel like that's getting kind of an interesting outlining to his face that I wasn't expecting it to give me. Anyway, so that's kind of fun. What's your go-to brush to make stylized face like this? I use all the very, very most basic brushes. You can see all the ones that I've used so far. Well, not all of them. I didn't use any of these anchor brushes or these bevel brushes. Those are I don't use those at all. I don't think I've ever touched them. I mean, I've tested them out, but I haven't really ever used them. I love clay buildup. I love my move brush. I love move topological. My masking tools. I am in primitives. Pinch and Damien Standard if I can find. Oh, Trim Dynamic is one too, but Damien Standard is another one that I use. There we go, right there. So like really just like 6 or 7 basic brushes. I don't really dive into very many complex, complicated sort of brushes because I don't feel like I need to. Let's go ahead and give that a little bit of color. Maybe a little bit of extra color to the chin. Sometimes that gets kind of cool. When I use Dynamesh for character sculpting, the meshes joined together, such as the feet, fingers, and lips. What can I do? Please share tips for this process. So the way that I've got, is like all these things are all Dynameshed, but they're not all joined together. You can see like the polygroups are all separate. This is groups button right here. So anything that you want to keep separate, you just hold, have it as a separate group, and it keeps it separate. So things like fingers, lips at this moment, like my lips are, two separate polygroups, so they stay apart, which is nice. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of it, is really just plugging things in, having those things kind of split in that way. Let me see, I'm trying to think with this, I'm not sure that I like, it entirely. I think that like with the black, like it's super cool. I think that maybe it needs to either like go a little bit darker in the corners, and then maybe a little bit lighter on the outside. So I'm just gonna grab this. I think that gradient is going to help it to feel a little bit more menacing and a little bit more dynamic. Maybe let's see, see about kind of taking this and kind of pulling this out a little bit further so it stays a little bit darker, a little bit longer on the bottom. And then maybe we can take like the lighter color and just kind of eat away at the top a little bit more. That feels a little bit nicer. I like that. Okay. So let me see, I think I do want to kind of push this shape just a little bit further. Something kind of like that. Something like that. Yeah, I was telling everybody earlier, Ash, that that I think I'm going to go ahead and do the series. But I think that I'm going to need to go through and do a little bit extra kind of tweaking on the design. Oh, you're leaving me. Okay. Well, it's good to have seen you, Ashley. Thanks for dropping in. But yeah, I think that might be where I decide to call it for today. Like, I think that turned out pretty stinking cool. So I guess one thing that I think I would like to do, I kind of want to take that smile out of symmetry, and I want to take the eyes so that they are yeah, let's come over here to transform, and instead of mirrored symmetry, we'll just kind of like move those together. We'll kind of rotate them. Yeah, I'm going to have to break symmetry here. Okay, turn off symmetry, pull that out. Let's go ahead and center this, and we'll kind of pull this out so that that's kind of sitting on the surface. I think I want to go ahead and grab this and kind of pull this over a little bit more. I think that that feels a little bit more right so far as placement for those eyes. Oh. Okay, now I feel like the monocle is like too dark of a color. But let's go ahead and let's kind of play with this. Let's grab this color here. We'll say color, fill object. I feel like it's kind of blending in too much with everything else around it. So let's see, what else can we do with this? I mean, we could make it a little bit lighter of a color. I mean, we could just make it a different material. Just go ahead and give it a metal material so that it's... Oh, hey, look at that. All right, so let's see. Let's do this. And we'll go ahead and say mRGB, color fill object. These eyebrows need to be not this material, though. Let's go ahead and drag over to the right material. We'll say material, and we'll say fill object. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to tweak the ends of these eyebrows a little bit. There we go. I'm going to turn off symmetry so that I can get these eyebrows to feel a little bit more, you know, fitting the pose of the one lowered and the one not lowered. Just want to make sure that feels like it's covering up that the edge of that monocle just fine. I'm curious if I were to grab this. I'm just gonna kind of tweak this a little bit here. Go ahead and turn on symmetry, and we can kind of pull that out just a little bit further. There you go, that's kind of interesting. What material is this? The cold eyebrows. The material is one that I developed by pushing and it's Skin Shade 5. I took Skin Shade 4 and I kind of tweaked the settings so that the highlight behaved in a way that I liked better. Because you know, like with Skin Shade 4, it goes through and it has kind of like a halo highlight. It's really kind of weird to me. So I went through and I diminished that halo so that it's a little less of a halo, and it feels a little bit nicer now. How do you mask several polygroups one by one? I click one, I unmask the others. I'm not entirely certain what your question is. I mean, like with polygroups, like I mean, if you just start masking, like you can go through and you can mask like this, but you're only going to be able to select whatever polygroup you just click on, right? Um, um, you're able to go through, and if you really wanted to, um, you could easily come through and say, you know, you just let me get my select rectangle just so it's a little bit easier. I can go through and I can hide several different polygroups, mask, and bring everything back so that way it's masked and unmasked. That's something that you could do. If you only wanted to ears and nose of that model, so grab the nose, grab the ear, Control A to be able to mask, and then bring everything back, and you're good. I'm gonna call that good. Like that's a really intense angle for that camera, but that's pretty fun. I like how that turned out. I mean, I feel like there are a couple things that could be different, could be better, but you know, it looks pretty good. You want a feather in his hat? I did want to go through and add some sort of little. I was calling it a garnish, but like a what's it called? Uh, what's that flower called? Carnation. Can I make a portrait? I think I'm going to call this one kind of actually done for now. I might go through and do like some renders and things like that at some point. But here, let me go ahead and let's do this. I'm going to change my document size, turn off the proportion constraint. My height, I'm going to change this to 2100. Okay, let's hit resize. Yes, I want to resize it. Let's zoom out so we can see it. I hate it when I have, there we go. When I have menus that pop up and then I change something and it's like somehow it just won't pop up again for me. All right. So with this, there are a couple things that I want to turn on. Let me see. I want to make sure that I have my timeline. Let's go ahead and hit show. Okay, so that way I can go ahead and bookmark the view that I have for rendering. And we can go through and kind of find like a couple different views that we like. This could be a cool one. I think that having it at this angle though, I would want to have the eyes at a different position. So we can do something kind of like that. Or we could switch over to this one. And we can have that pupil on. Maybe I'll just select between the two of these. I'll do this. I like this one. All these buttons feel like I'm looking at a plane cockpit. It's the Emperor of Cheese. It has been a little while. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it has been a couple of years. It has been a while. In fact, a lot of the people that are watching now are people that haven't been around for the. Let's go through and make sure that that's dynameshed nicely. Not dynameshed, dynamic, smooth. I'm going to get this to be, yeah, let's go ahead and hit actual. You can see how like the shirt has a nice surface look to it. I want to get something similar for the shirt. Or the what's it called? The lapel. So same thing. I'm going to come over here. Let's go to crease. I'm going to say uncrease all, and then I'm going to say crease PG. Let's go ahead and say dynamic. We'll say apply. Let's go ahead and turn that on. Turn off the thickness. And then I want to go ahead and just, let's get myself some more creases in here. Let's say crease tolerance. Let's hit that. Okay, so that gave me too much creasing. So let's go ahead and raise our tolerance. Hit crease. I'm still getting some creasing through here, but I can fix that. I'm just gonna come over here and say crease, edge loop partial. Let's grab that. Grab that. Okay, dynamic, let's turn that up to 3. Yeah, maybe turn it up to 4. And turn the crease up to 3. That looks much nicer. And I just kind of want to extend that a little bit beyond the end of the shirt. Okay, so now that we've got this going on, he looks pretty nice. Let's go ahead and let's select the pupils. All right. Cool. We did it, guys. We did a thing. Nice to see you again, Great Sculpt. I like it. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it's been a while. It has been a while. Maybe this needs to be a little bit less open over here. Something kind of like this. And kind of raise that up a little bit too. Okay, now let's get over back to the pupils. All right. So now what we do is we can go through and designate actual materials for this. If we were to just go ahead and hit regular BPR, it's not going to be too amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to Redshift. We're going to turn on Redshift Renderer. I just like to use the default panorama, which works just fine. Please wait while I initiate. I don't know that I've ever had those little things pop up for me before. That's kind of bizarre. It probably won't look as good as it will once we add in the actual materials, because right now it's using not Redshift materials, but it still looks decent. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab this. I'm going to start start applying some different. In fact, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that that those pupils stay on for now. Bow tie. Let's grab a material here that makes sense. I might go with something like this. Let's go ahead and grab material, color, fill object. Color, fill object. Color, fill object. I'm not sure that those will be the exact materials that I need for this, but we're gonna play with it and use it anyway. For this, I'm going to use tinted glass. I'm not sure how well that'll work out, but we're gonna try it out. The eyes will probably be the same material as there's simple plastic glossy. I want to, so like I have this skin material, the stylized skin material that I made. I'm not sure it's the material that I want to use. But let's go ahead and we'll give it a shot, kind of see how it behaves. Let's say color, fill object, okay. Oh, and then the hair needs something different. Let's see, with the hair, I don't know that we have an actual hair material, so let's go ahead, I'm going to use clay for now. This will probably not be very much what I want, but let's try it out, kind of see what we get. It should be easy enough to go back and reapply different materials. That's not terrible. It's not terrible. The skin does not feel rich enough. Granted, it's penguin, so I mean it's one of those things that you got to kind of think about, weigh out what's going to work for you, what you need. The eyes are definitely not working for the way that I want them to. So we got a couple different things that we can come in here and play with. I'm going to come over to the material. Let's go ahead and open this up. Let's open up the modifiers. Right now it's got a base, it's got emissive is like weird kind of color going on right here, so I'm gonna pick a color that I like, and I actually kind of want to give the refraction some color to it as well. Let me see, that should be enough for that to actually start to pull off a color. But I do want to give it a little bit of an emission just to kind of see what it does for me. Let's say like 0.1, something like that. You can see now it's starting to actually look like the color, which is much more in line with what I wanted. The skin still feels kind of, well, I mean, we didn't do anything to the skin, so it makes sense that it would still look kind of weird. I do like the effect that the metal gave to these other objects, though. I feel like that helps them to feel a little bit more satiny, you know? I think that's kind of cool. So I'll hold on to that. I'll keep that the way it is. Yeah, I don't know. I might just call it good as it is right now. There are a lot of things that I think I could go through and do to tweak this to really make this feel more appealing, and I think I'll probably go ahead and do some draw overs just to be able to explore it a little bit more and see how I can go about improving and plussing the design. But yeah, good enough for a one-day exercise. Anyway, hope you guys had fun. I know that I did. And oh, let me go ahead and export that so that way it's Penguin 01. I'm gonna go ahead and save that so that we've got him, you know, look at his pretty face. Yeah, you can tweak forever. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of bring this up so that we have a little bit closer of an image of him while we're, or I could just go in, I guess, and I could say actual, and we could do it like that. But yeah, definitely could go through and tweak forever. But, you know, looks good. Looks good. Had fun. Hope you guys had fun too. It's good to see you around. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Sorry, my voice is starting to go. I am trying to start to stream again more regularly, like every other week. Just to kind of let you guys know a bit more about me and oh, I don't want that to. There we go, that's better. So that you guys can kind of follow along with me a little bit. I'm planning on. I'm not planning on. I'm currently preparing for Lightbox, which is happening at the end of October. I will be having a table at Lightbox, so if you're going to be around, come say hi. I am producing toys. This is my first time selling my own real product, my own toys and everything. I'm so excited about it. So yeah, come say hi, come check it out, and I'll see you guys next time I see you. You should be able to find news on my website and or you know, following on Instagram, things like that. And so yeah, I'll see you guys next time I see you. Try to stay updated, and then see you in a couple weeks. Peace out.